Hello and welcome into week 2 of the Daily Gamecock podcast. My name is Chris Cox. I'm the sports editor of the Gamecock alongside my assistant James Kratch. James, how's it going?
It's going excellent, Chris.
We're here to talk about South Carolina's second opponent in this football season. They're getting ready to kick it off against the Georgia Bulldogs Saturday at noon. James, initial thoughts on Saturday's big game?
It's definitely the biggest game I think USC's played since I've been around the team. A lot of people think it's the biggest game in Spurrier's tenure at Carolina. I tend to agree. I know it's only week 2, but I think it's a must-win for USC.
Well, let's get right into it, and let's start talking about some of those suspensions that happened last week against Southern Miss have been reinstated, primarily cornerback Chris Culliver. His addition to the team seems to be coming at a great time because just when you see that USC is getting one of their best secondary members back, Georgia finds out it will be without its top-flight wideout in A.J. Green.
Yeah, it's excellent for USC in that sense, and also in the fact that they've had some injuries in the secondary. Antonio Allen hasn't really practiced this week. He's been working out with strength coach Craig Fitzgerald, at the stadium. They think he'll dress, but he's only going to be an emergency playing option. It's getting a little thin in the secondary. DJ Swearinger had a concussion last week. He should be okay, but there's a very good chance that Dion LaCorn, wide receiver who moved to defense, I believe, on Tuesday or Wednesday, he might see some time at spur linebacker this week. So they're getting low on bodies in the secondary.
And just when it seems like the secondary is, going to be called on, I think really the key to the aspect is South Carolina's front seven on defense is probably going to play a crucial role. Georgia's going to enter with a redshirt freshman at quarterback in Aaron Murray without its top wideout. You got to think that Coach Mark Richt is going to try as much as he can to take the ball out of the freshman's hands and put it in his tailback's hands, and that's where South Carolina's front seven on defense is really going to come into play.
Definitely. I think the USC defensive line is really going to have to get a push this week. Georgia runs the ball very well. So they're going to have to run stuff. They're going to have to obviously pass rush because I don't think you're going to see a situation where Murray has like 4 passes. I think they're going to let Murray throw 15 to 20 times. So USC's going to have to play very balanced defensively, and they're really going to have to get after it.
On the other side of the ball, Georgia's 3-4 defense, a lot of talk's been made of this and this new scheme under new defense coordinator Todd Grantham. What kind of difficulty or challenge do you think that presents to South Carolina a week after they looked really impressive in their opener against Southern Miss?
I don't know about difficulty. I think that some things will be different. For instance, when Georgia actually is in the 3-4 look and doesn't have the backer walked up as a pseudo lineman, you're probably going to see a nose tackle line head up on center T.J. Johnson, the reigning SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week. And for a guy who's new at center, that intrigues me to see how he can handle snapping the ball in the shotgun and then dropping right back with a big nose tackle right on his nose. So I think Johnson probably will be able to handle that, though. So it's interesting. I think 3-4, as Spurrier said, it's really not a classic 3-4 in the sense that they walk up a linebacker a lot. So, but yeah, I think USC can handle it. I think they'll be prepared for it.
I think it's going to really come down to Stephen Garcia. He didn't get sacked. He didn't turn the ball over at all last week in Southern Miss. That's something Coach Steve Spurrier's really harped on this offseason. How much that changes against a Southeastern Conference opponent is really going to be interesting. So without further ado, let's get into the predictions. James, your thoughts on South Carolina's big game?
Well, speaking of Stephen Garcia, if there's any game he should be confident going into, it's this one. Considering last year he pretty much had the game of his life in USC's last-second 41-37 loss in Athens. As I said, I think this is a must-win for South Carolina. I think Georgia can afford to lose this one. Obviously, it wouldn't help them to lose this one, but it is a must-win for South Carolina. With that in mind, I think we get a defensive battle like is traditional in the series. I think USC finds a way, a play or two here or there, breaks the game, and USC wins at 21-16.
Everyone's talking about how Georgia's coming in with a freshman quarterback in his first road game, and they're without A.J. Green. But this is a team that has a plethora of guys on the All-SEC team. And they've got great tailbacks and Caleb King and Washawn Easley. You look at the fact that USC will be without Shaq Wilson again. Antonio Allen was once again out. I think that's really going to play a factor. And as good as the Gamecocks looked last week, I'm just not sure they get it done this Saturday. I'm not sure why. It's just a confidence thing. I think Georgia can really win 10 games this year. So without that said, I'll say Georgia 24, South Carolina 21. That's it for us this week on the Daily Gamecock Podcast. Tune in next week when we preview South Carolina's thrilling, epic battle with the Furman Paladins. Take care, and we'll talk to you then.
See you then.